Hello, this video is about foiling, but with special cases. So very specific times that we foil in a very unique way. So let's run through some examples to go through these special cases. So first example, we're going to have a plus 8 times b plus 3. Now remember, FOIL means first, outer, inner, last. And so we're going to go ahead and multiply the first, which is a times b. We are going to multiply our outer, which is a times 3. We're going to multiply our inner, which is 8 times b. And we're going to multiply our last, which is 8 times 3. So let's go ahead and do those multiplications. A times b is just ab. A times 3 is just 3a. 8 times b is 8b. And 8 times 3 is 24. And it's all plus, so we have plus signs in between here. And now we always look to see if we can combine like terms, but this one is unique because there are no like terms. So in this specific case, we don't have anything to combine, so this would be our final answer. Our next example is going to be the quantity n plus 7 squared. And so for this one, we have to remember that it's not that we give each one the 2 as an exponent, but that this is equivalent to n plus 7 times n plus 7. Now this one's unique because if we do enough of these, we realize that there is a pattern to how these are foiled. But you can always revert back to the foiling on any of these. The main thing is that when I see a quantity squared, I have to remember that means FOIL. So first is n times n. Our outers are going to be n times 7. Our inners are 7 times n. And our last is 7 times 7. So n times n is n squared. N times 7 is 7n. 7 times n is 7n. And 7 times 7 is 49. So this one's unique because, like I said, if you do these enough, you realize that the inner terms that you're going to combine are always going to be identical. 7n and 7n. So we get 2 of those. So combining those, 7n plus 7n is 14n. And then plus the 49. And then that's as good as it gets, so there's our answer. Our next example is kind of similar to the one we just did. R minus S quantity squared. So the minute we see that, we have to remember that that means FOIL. So we have to see this and say, okay, that means FOIL, because that is really R minus S times R minus S. So now in our foiling, we have R times R. Our outer is R times a negative S. Our inner, a negative S times R. And our last is negative s times a negative s. R times r is r squared. R times a negative s is negative rs. Negative s times r is negative rs. And negative s times negative s becomes a positive s squared. So notice, even though we don't have numbers in here, our two middle terms are like terms that we can combine together, but notice they are identical. So we have r squared, negative rs minus rs gives us minus 2rs, and then plus the s squared, and then there is our final answer. All right, we are going to do one more special case. And so we have z minus 12 times z plus 12. So these ones look almost identical as in the last two examples, except one is plus and one is minus. So this is a special case where everything's the same except we have plus and minus. So looking at our first, we have z times z. Looking at our outer, we have z times 12. Looking at the inners, we have negative 12 times z. And looking at our last, we have negative 12 times 12. All right, let's combine these. So z times z is z squared. Z times 12 is 12z. Negative 12 times z is negative 12z. And negative 12 times negative 12 is negative 144. So again, we want to combine the like terms, and in combining the like terms are the middle terms again. They look identical, except 12z minus 12z gives us 0. So we have 0z. So 0z or 0 times z is just 0. So we have the z squared, we have the minus 144. So this one's unique because these middle terms add to 0. So our final answer is just z squared minus 144. So again, this video was for foiling with special cases. And if you have additional questions, let me know. But I hope this helps in your lesson. Thanks.